Hey, it's Shaun and AJ from Gravity Analytica. We're doing a review of next week. This is December 29th, 2024. Damn, the year's already over.
You guys just missed Shaun doing a very guttural hippo mating call ritual. I'm sure he'll cut that out.
Yeah.
So this upcoming week we've got really one big expected data dump, and that is going to be the Chicago PMI. Um, and right now, it's actually expected to rebound, which is kind of concerning because I don't actually see anything else in the data that says that the economy rebounded in the last month. And these targets are pretty bullish, actually, from both the consensus and the forecast. So this is something to watch out for tomorrow. Luckily, it comes out after the market opens up, so I'll be able to unwind some calls, some SPY calls that we have before this data comes out. But that was this is really the only thing upcoming that's kind of concerning. The the last week of the year usually has pretty decent bid pressure. It's not like Christmas where things fall off. So hopefully we'll still get a Santa rally here. But there was some pretty interesting data that came out besides that. And I guess I'll just go through it piece by piece here.
Actually,
So
this.
the very first thing is all of the commercial banks and investment banks, they released their forecast for 2025. And I went and I pulled all the ones that I could find. And I pulled both their midterm, which is this red line here. This is their October update. And I pulled their last year updates as to what they predicted. And this is really kind of shocking. Like normally 90% of banks are wrong, but there's usually like one, right? There's like one person who gets it right. But last year, in December of 2023, the SPY was sitting, I think, at 4,600 or 4,650. Pretty much everyone predicted a flat market for 2024. I'm across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, the most bullish you got was Oppenheimer, who was at 5,200, right? And then in October, everybody upgraded, right? They all said by the end of the year, we're going to be higher. But still, even their upgrades, only BMO Capital Markets got the end of the year right. Because we're sitting at 5,950 or
Yeah.
6,000 right now.
Yeah.
Like that shows you how off this past year was. And from an economic perspective and a fundamental perspective, these predictions were actually kind of bullish for 2024. So we far exceeded that. And their current predictions right now are right here. They're actually predicting that the S&P is going to run a further 10% in 2025, which seems overly bullish to me, considering the bond market is predicting, we might have rate hikes this summer. Like, like there seems to be a big disconnect between what the banking industry is predicting and what the actual hedge fund and Wall Street is predicting. Like Wall Street is short the bond market right now, which means that you would expect the SPY to go down. One thing that I like to look at periodically, everyone, I spam people with this all the time. If I can get back to this, is the relative PE for the S&P 500.
Yep.
And we're beginning to drift up again. We're kind of in the danger zone where we were before 2000, but we're nowhere near where we were before the financial crisis. And if you look at I'm not going to bring this up because people don't care about Fred, but if you look at the 10-year Treasury, the 10 over 3 month Treasuries, we've just now passed zero, and the rate of inclination of that chart is predicting a recession about 6 months out. That's a pretty consistent indicator, and I have absolutely no idea if any of this stuff is going to hold. I mean, that is what the consensus opinion is, but yet everyone's predicting, a 10% run in the S&P this year. There's some of the cool stuff that I read this week is here are the publicly listed companies and their Bitcoin holding positions. And what's interesting about this is that there are about 4 million Bitcoins that are lost. Wow. So the total holdings of all public companies is still less than 30% of the Bitcoins that are just lost. That shows you how relatively small I mean, I know we're talking billions of dollars here, but relatively small this is. There's more Bitcoin sitting in landfills than there is in all public institutions. And that looks like it's going to change because I don't know how many people saw this, but MSTR MicroStrategy, they just filed to increase their authorized share count, and this is not a typo, by 10 billion shares.
Wow.
And considering all that MicroStrategy does now is buy and hold Bitcoin, you have to presume that all they're going to be doing with this share count is buy more Bitcoin. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Like I can't remember if anyone ever, like, normally maybe a double, maybe a triple, but I mean, this is absurd. This is 100x increase almost in their share count. They're also, that leads into this chart, which is just how bullish retail has been on MicroStrategy here. I mean, the amount of call contracts that have been
crazy, yeah.
in the last, since September, I guess, is just absolutely nuts. I don't see how any of this can continue in terms of MicroStrategy, but I wonder what Bitcoin's at right now. Got any idea what the price is? It's at 94. So, I mean, the MSTR's treasury, I think their average price is like 87,000 or something.
Is it that
so
high? Damn.
It's pretty high because they keep buying more and more and more at these peaks. So that's, I don't really understand the business model here of that, but at some point they're going to have to start unloading shares. Like, they're going to have to figure out a way to come up with more money here. And maybe that's what they're doing with this share authorization. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of shares.
And typical at the end of the year, you know, lawyers file everything late. You got the updates for all the new ETFs that are basically being submitted to go live next year. And it's amazing how many new Bitcoin cryptos, Bitcoin futures, gold futures, like some of the ETFs that are being filed for next year, they're actually going to be denominated in Bitcoin per dollar. Like, they're actually treating it like it's a, you know, you can have an ETF that the underlying is in French currency or German currency or euros or whatever.
Yeah.
They're basically doing it. The underlying is going to be Bitcoin, and they've built these complicated future structures. Wall Street is definitely going full bore into the expectation that the crypto market's going to run. I don't know how that's going to play out. Typically, you know, typically most things are sell the news, right? So when the ETFs came on, they ran and then they dumped off. I have a feeling this is going to roll over, but it hasn't rolled over yet. And you've got the full weight of Wall Street behind it now. Everyone's getting involved with it. In terms of the last week, what were like?
Yeah, there was a Bitcoin stock that went nuts, wasn't there? I took the week off, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
KULR. I remember correctly.
Yeah. This is I think they bought $21 million worth. I think of this. Let's see. You still viewing my window?
Yep.
Yeah. This is this was actually pumped in October. I remember reading a Reddit post about this.
Yeah.
Like October 9th, I think somebody actually called this, which is pretty brilliant considering the move. And then, you know, all of Reddit, you know, there's a whole bunch of boards out there that are all over this, the race to 10 million, and a whole bunch of those boards are all over it. So, I mean, that's kind of a mind-boggling move there. But that kind of leads us to what we're going to do again this year. We didn't do this publicly last year, but we're going to do it publicly this year. So I asked our Twitter followers and subscribers like to pick stocks I think are going to 5 or 10x. And we've gotten some people who have been brave enough to comment, and I'll bring these up so people can see here. NXTC is one.
Yeah. That's Uh-oh. He left the meeting.
Hey.
And he's back.
Yeah, where did we leave off? All right, so we had a couple people who've responded to our query about what they think is going to go up 5 or 10x, and so far these are the stocks that people have talked about. And one of them I went through this week is called BLMZ, and this is pretty interesting because a famous Japanese model and voiceover actress is one of the people who just bought into this stock. And this reminds me, a couple years ago, there was, maybe you can remember the name of it, but there was this one penny stock that went up something like 4,000% when they got some famous wrestler on board. And the company was supposed to make cartoons and entertainment material on YouTube for kids. It was a complete scam. Like, I mean, the guy ended up buying like a $12 million house out of the scam. But this sort of has the same feel and setup for it. It's a learning educational company. There's somebody famous involved. Both of the hedge funds that I looked at for this that are involved, well, there's a private office in California, which is much smaller than ours. And then there's a hedge fund out of Japan, which looks like it's just a single guy. And then you have this model who's involved in this. So with the people who are involved and the fact that this is actually getting pretty decent amount of traction, there's some YouTubers and some Twitter people who are actually starting to pay attention to this. They're calling this like a value play, but there's no value here. But this might be interesting. Like, this has some potential to actually do something this year. So that was an interesting one that someone pointed out.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of. I remember the story, but I don't remember the name of that penny stock where the wrestler was involved.
Yeah, they tend to run together. So many of them.
Well, if anybody knows, tell us in chat or put it in the comments.
So the other one is NXTC.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of subscribers.
We're in this, right?
Yeah, we do have a position that we don't have a full position though. It actually just tripped liquidity this week. I mean, it might have tripped it on Friday, so this is something that we'd be adding to. I mean, I hope it has support around this $1 non-compliance line, but typically, like, they tend to fall into the low 70s, so that's kind of where I'd be setting up bids for this. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of nervous about this week because some of the data just doesn't really make sense. But let's see what else we got here. Somebody mentioned PRLD.
I believe I just sold that last week.
Yeah, it's up, I think 60, 80%.
Yeah. I had it at 90, I think, 90 cents.
Well, this is actually one of the 4 that I would put on my list for the most likely stocks to 5 or 10x here. I actually haven't completely formulated my list yet, but we can talk about that next week. But I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that would be on my list as well. It started to curl up. It's just generally, looks like a pretty decent stock. It just reminds me a lot of one of the ones that was on my list last year, which is Pixis. Yeah. Like right at the point where it starts to curl up here in either of these cases, it has sort of the same structure. It's in the same state, early trial data. It's pretty tightly held, so this is one of the ones that I would choose. But
yeah, it looks like I bought at $1 and sold it at $1.28, so almost time for me to rebuy probably.
We'll see how much of it comes back down, but if you can, probably would be a good case. And I don't think this SR, I can't remember the name of this actual company. It's not S. I think I typoed this when I wrote that out there. Here it is, Surf Mobility. So I wrote about this in October. This is a company that Palantir bought. That's what this green dot is here. And then immediately afterwards, it took off. This is one of the 3 companies. I think FFE is the other one.
I don't think you're sharing the right tab.
Okay.
We're still seeing your Twitter feed.
Better?
Yeah. SRFM. Okay.
Yeah, so I talked about this in October when because Palantir bought this right before their earnings came out. This is one of the companies that I think there's a reciprocal relationship going on where Palantir is loaning them money,
Yeah.
and in return they're taking an equity position, and then Surf is actually buying Palantir's products. That's what I think's going on here. But since Palantir took over, this stock has like just taken off.
Yeah. Right into the FST and that 13G filed. That's probably
Yeah,
a pretty
yeah.
good
So there's a couple of
indicator.
people on Twitter who actually followed this trade, but there's another one. This is also Palantir. The chart's not too helpful to see, but this dot was actually Palantir as well. I don't see anything recent here.
Remind us what the green dots and the red dots mean.
Yeah, the green dots are new institutional holdings, and the red dots are prospectus or offerings related to dilution. I must see if I can actually. There was one more that Palantir was in. I mean, I'm watching these because at some point Palantir's revenue models are not going to match up with the expectations. But we'll see next earnings when they file some more.
Yeah.
Well, there was one more. Oh, the other one was a patent company out of Miami. Pretty familiar with this. This is another one that Palantir bought up. It's called MSP Recovery. But what it really is it's a patent troll group. It's a lawyer out of Miami who basically made his money suing other people for obscure patents. And for whatever reason, Palantir actually got involved in this one as well. Yeah, this stock has had some amazing performance. It's done numerous reverse splits already. You can see all its dilution events here.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure why they would be involved in this other than if it was a reciprocal income situation, but but that's
What about ASMB?
What was the news this week? Gilead bought, I think that was what happened. So they had put out data the day before Christmas, but I think the real news this week was Gilead. Pretty sure. No. I don't know who that is. I thought Gilead was involved in this.
I think that was
Am I still sharing the right tab?
We see ASMB analyzer.
Yeah.
There we go. The filings.
Yeah, so Gilead increased their position in this company, so that was the news this week. I mean, the data that came out on the 26th was good, but they don't need to raise capital, so there's not really any investment banks involved right now. There's support of the stock, but there's no reason for it to spike. So this is just one of those situations where, like, they're very comfortable.
It's been a pretty boring, 9 months in this stock.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone up from 10 or
$7.
$11 up to, I think it hit 20 at one point.
Yeah, 9.
Sorry?
It started off 9. Sorry, not 10. Yeah, but
Oh, he started, yeah. And it's, it hit 20 recently. With the data that came out this week, it should start to pick up some momentum. I mean, I would think it is. I mean, I personally have a position in it. I know that the managed account has a position in this. I think you have a position in this too, right?
yeah.
So we're I think it's
We're
in pretty
indeed.
decent shape.
Yeah.
I would love for this to do what ALGS has done.
ALGS. Oh man.
Yeah.
What a winner.
Yeah, it's done well. I mean, I had it at 9 and sold it at 21, and now it's trading at
43.
40.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how this has worked out. There's a bunch of Twitter people who are on this.
Yeah.
Some of the largest groups out here. This guy, Jake, who's got 300,000 followers, and Banana, who has 133,000 followers. And there's another one. Is it this guy? Yeah. With 330. All these guys are all basically talking about the same stocks and the same technical trading. So there's 600,000 Twitter followers behind that move.
Damn.
And when they get hold of a stock, especially a stock that doesn't dilute, like ALGS is in such a healthy state it didn't need to dilute, so they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah, let's go. We're still seeing the ASMB. There we go. ALGS.
Yeah.
So it was pretty flat underneath the looked like EM1 for the most part, nice and flat. Couple of 13Gs, and going into a bunch of events.
Yeah. So this actually
super obvious.
This first 13G here that was filed, that was definitely a market purchase because this stock spiked pretty high. I think it hit $14 or something and came back down. So someone front ran this, and then it kind of settled for a while. And now it's been running. And then, did you see the Twitter groups that are on this one?
No, you were sharing the wrong tab.
Okay.
But
see this now?
Yeah.
So these guys here,
Banana.
This guy's got 133,000 followers. This guy's got 300,000 followers, and this guy's got 330,000 followers. And these guys are basically playing the same technical analysis. These three guys together are doing like a Twitter Spaces in a couple of weeks. But this reminds me a lot of like the boiler rooms that were going on right in the middle of the 2020-2021 run. And right in 2013, 2014, during the weed run, we had all those big accounts out there that were all trading in sync. And that's what looks like it's lining up again, is a lot of the social media accounts have kind of aligned together and they're starting to trade in sync. And when you have a stock that only has...
This was optionable too. Jeez.
Yeah, when you have a stock that is trading at such a low float, when you can generate...
a million followers. Yeah,
they got combined 600,000 just between those three.
Yeah,
they got 600,000 followers. They can pretty much do whatever they want. And as long as the stock's healthy, like ALGS is really, really healthy, then they don't dilute on them. You're in a good shape. The other one that those guys ran together was this one. And in this particular case, the company immediately diluted. So they basically drove the stock up, and then the company did the smart thing is it took advantage of the stock price and diluted it. And pretty much anyone who bought in the day that they posted fell, they lost 50% immediately. This is one that we actually, it tripped our liquidity indicator like 2 days before the move.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I remember buying this, I believe.
Yeah, I had it at some point, but I didn't, I don't have it now.
I don't think I still own it.
I sold the move and I haven't bought back yet. I mean, those three guys have enough power that they can continue to push this. But the terms of this deal were 3-1. So you bought one share, you got 2 warrants, and that's a pretty crappy deal. Yeah. So I kind of tend to think that these events are actually not as good as even the code thinks they are if they kind of put that kind of deal. Usually when you have to juice the offering that much, it's a pretty good sign that the data is not going to be great, or at least that no one thinks it's going to be great. So, but what else you got? What else you want to talk about?
I think that's it for me. On my list.
How's the new baby?
A lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah, 3 in 4 years?
Yeah, 3 in 3 years. Yeah, my oldest is just turning 3 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Time flies.
Yeah, it does, man. All right. See you tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Take care.
Hopefully I get out of our SPY position before 9:30. That's my goal.
All right.
See you, mate.
See ya.